Welcome to the Rex and Ben Tennis Show. We've got a special guest tonight, Mark Beckham, the UofL women's tennis coach and great friend of Coach Karma over there. They were, I think you were a coach for 15 years underneath him, is that correct?
Yes, assistant.
And also a player at UofL, under coach as well?
For 2 of my years.
Fantastic. Welcome, Mark. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Coach Beckham, so nice to have you here. You grew up in the city of Louisville, and tell us a little bit about your juniors background. What type of players did you rub elbows with, have rivalries with, play doubles with? Tell us how you grew up as a junior.
Back in my time, everybody kind of learned, well, I shouldn't say everybody, I learned how to play tennis in the park. We get there every day, practice, play, didn't really have that much instruction, so it was kind of a self-taught type of thing, but I was learning from older people in the park kind of thing. Had a few lessons within the park, but that was kind of like how I got, I guess, this love for tennis. So that's where it started. Some of the guys that I played all the time, Andy Schreckers, Steve Roofs, Stephen Mathers, Warren Watsons, Richie Allens, a long list of guys that ended up playing Division I tennis. So it was pretty strong. So I mean, it was very competitive.
Coach Beckham, those are 6 names, obviously. You know, Andy Schrecker is a legend at UofLTennis, and a lot of those names are both very good. There's, you know, Jeff Andersons are in there. So can you tell me, when you're a junior, your senior year in high school, you played for Eastern High School. How many of those guys went on to play college tennis, specifically Division I?
Wow. I think in my class, my senior year, I think there was 15 of us that actually went and played D1 tennis coming out of the state. So I don't know if that number is still, well, I don't think that's the norm now. Pretty sure it's not, but it was a pretty good group, and like I said, we're very competitive, and it was just a normal thing for us.
I mean, I'm just looking, obviously, I've recruited this area for 29 years. I can't remember many years, Coach, where 15 boys players played Division I. So one of the things that attributes, when you have that type of numbers, pushing each other, bumping each other, competing against each other, you're going to make each other better because there was that many good athletes, that many good players. So that's probably one of the best eras of Kentucky junior tennis.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, you're exactly right. I mean, that's how we got better. I mean, everybody was we were all trying to beat each other. We knew so-and-so was having success, so that meant, I mean, if he can do it, I can do it kind of thing. And then we just kind of all lifted each other up. So it's just one of those things, hey, I'm gonna meet you at Seneca Park at 2 o'clock, let's go play 3 sets, and then that was our thing. I mean, we just kept doing that day in, day out, so that's how we helped each other get better.
That's great. So you've been at the University of Louisville from your playing career through your, you've never gone, have you coached anywhere else?
No.
I mean, that is rare. I mean, you guys have been the coach. That's extremely rare nowadays.
Very rare. I remember Coach Cox when John L. Smith, our old football coach that took our program to the level under Tom Jurich that very first time, got us to a bowl. I remember talking to him, and in 25 seasons, he went. I don't see how this is possible. This is what he told me. He was at 20 places.
Right, absolutely.
Whether an assistant, coordinator, whatever, head coach, that it was crazy. And Mark and I, between us, we've only coached at one place.
That's, I mean, and this was your dream job, obviously. Being from Louisville, I'm sure it's probably a dream job, and it worked out for you, which is absolutely fantastic. Now we've got a lot of kids that are probably watching this. We've got a lot of parents that are watching this. What do you look for when you are out? Obviously, you're recruiting worldwide at this point. You guys are a major ACC university. What are you looking for in a player?
The main thing, kind of a key word I've been saying a lot, competitiveness. I look for kids that doesn't really matter what your rating is, but kids that aren't afraid of the big moment. When they see a supposed blue chip, how they compete against them. Are they going to just, because they're a blue chip, just kind of, this isn't my day, I don't know what to do? Or they're a blue chip. You know what? Just show me you're a blue chip. So that's kind of, trust me, I would love to have nothing but blue chips on my team, but that's not necessary for me. I want to see somebody who still has that hunger, that fight, and they want to get better, and they've already shown that they're not afraid to play against such a so-called big name.
Right, absolutely.
We went through, you were a star at Eastern High School, you were a star junior within a really good group of people. Don't forget to mention Steve Roof, he was in that group as well. But then you went on to college. How was your college experience like at UofL, and did that help you decide, like, hey, I might want to try to do this coaching thing?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of it, because I mean, I'm from here, and at that time I really had not been that many places. So when I got to college, it kind of opened up a lot of different things for me, things that I'd never seen before. Traveled to different places. So for me, it kind of turned a switch as far as the love for the game and me actually wanting to stay in it and continue to try and be a part of it as best I could. To be honest with you, when I went to college, I did not know I wanted to be a coach. That was kind of something that just kind of evolved. I asked you after I got done playing, I got to finish up my degree, so you need any help with the team? You're like, sure, help me out. And I never left.
It's one of those things. What I saw as coaching you your junior and senior year, it's somebody very meticulous, very detail-oriented, but someone who knew a lot about the game, knew a lot about the equipment, a lot of an intelligent tennis player, a person that loved UofL, but also a young person that I could trust. And I really feel like one of the reasons why I chose MarkBeckham to be my assistant in the young years, because I trusted him. I knew his IQ of the game was very, very high, and someone that we had a good chemistry with, and I'm so happy that I had a small part in getting you into your coaching career.
Absolutely, that's great. Coach, why don't you give us a little update, give the people a little update on the team this year, and what you're thinking about the players and some of the matches coming up, and if you know some times and dates of some of these matches, some of these players could come out and watch, that would be great.
Well, as far as this year's team, we're 6-1 right now. Our one loss, we lost to Furman. Furman's a good team. We were down a player or two in that match, so I feel like we might be able to do a little something different if we played them again, but we still have a good record. I feel like this year's team, we have an opportunity to be top 30-ish, top 40 type team. I really don't know exactly, but I know we're good enough to be that. Maybe higher, I don't know. But this year's season, there used to be 10 years or so ago where there was maybe, 30 teams that was just better than everybody else. The way it is now, there's about 10 teams that just might be a little bit better than everybody else, and then after that, it's a free-for-all. Who's going to really be able to do something on that particular day? Yep. So for me, that's very exciting. Yep. So like I consider and tell you, maybe we'll be 30 in the country, maybe we'll be 25, maybe we'll be 50. I don't know, but I feel like we have a lot of opportunity because there is a lot of parity right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Coach, at one time, we really worked at UofL. You were my assistant coach and Greg Davis's assistant coach, who's now the head coach at Western Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like, being the assistant of the UofL men's program and the UofL women's program? You go down in history books as the only assistant ever for both programs. What was that like, that window of time?
In a word, exhausting. I can tell you this now, Rex. If something hadn't happened where I was gonna that year become just your assistant coach, I was gonna have to leave it alone. It was too much.
I sensed that. That's why I was fundraising a whole lot of money that year.
Yeah, so it was just really tough, and I'd never experienced anything like that before. So it was something that I really didn't know what I was getting into, but I'm happy for it because it definitely gave me an appreciation for just coaching itself. And then I also know there's been many coaches that have been head coaches of 2 programs. So my respect for them is just off the charts. It's just, it was very, very tough. But what I learned in that amount of time though, in that however many years I did it, it's been invaluable. I still use some of that stuff today. So
that's great. I want to hit on a topic, guys, because it's not that often we get a coach like this, and even Coach, Rex over here, to offer some knowledge. You got little kids, right?
yes,
Do you coach your kids?
a little bit, but not really.
Coach, do you coach your kids?
Mhm.
You do. Okay. What can you?
And I coach his kids too. They've been in my camps. I mean, I've spent a lot of time with Ashton and Elaine. I could break their games down.
Yeah.
But the main thing is maybe 2 of the most wonderful
That's awesome.
children that I've met. I mean, Dr. Christina and MarkBeckham, they've done such a great job in bringing the kids up. They're just beautiful children, and I love them.
And maybe they can both. I want both of you guys to actually give some advice on this. That let's just say 8 to 12-year-old range.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell parents out there? Parents that are so worried about the wins and losses, right?
Mm.
As a college coach, you guys are both coached at the top level. What would you tell those parents out there?
Can we start?
Yes.
What you do at 12 years old, this may sound bad, means absolutely nothing. I mean, it just doesn't. So, my advice to any parent of a child that age: development. Make sure you are developing their game to where, as they mature and get older, they're going to have a game that's going to have a good base to it, have some substance to it. So when they are 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, they're going to have a very good foundation, and then it'll be up to them how good they want to be.
It's a process. It's
Yes.
a process to get there, you guys. We're going to hear from Coach here in a second, but do not worry about the wins and losses. Do not worry about the person that can put 1,000,000 balls on the court 20 feet over the net at the age of 10. Right, Coach?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And he's got 2 amazing players himself, and I want him to go ahead and speak on this a little bit because he's brought his own 2 kids up a little bit.
Well, with Xavier and Landon at that time, I just wanted them to be athletic. I had Xavier and Landon, they're playing basketball, and I'm keeping stats of their basketball. I was really into their basketball, still into Landon's basketball. So when you're that young, be an athlete. Don't just stick to tennis and that's all you do, because your muscle memory ends up becoming a tennis robot. And I can tell you, I know Coach Beckham, he likes athletes. He wants, and when I was looking at a college, I loved it when my tennis player played other sports, because I thought the upside for development in the collegiate level was high when the person had a great athletic base. So what I say to your question, Coach Ben, it's a fantastic question, and hopefully it'll get around the city. But 8 to 12 years old, be athletic. Play different sports. Still play tennis, and if you want to major, do other things so you can be a great athlete.
And just be competitive, right? I don't care what sport you're playing. Go out. I always used to go out with your dad or mom or your brother or sister. Go be competitive in something, and that will get to your brain.
And I think, Coach, and I think you know what I'm talking about, Ben, being a junior coach of a lot of juniors in every level. We want to coach juniors that not every time they hit a ball to the net, they have to look through the window and look at their parents or look at or needing somebody. When you're playing out there, especially when you're playing a match, we encourage you. That's your match. That's not the parents' match. That's your match.
Yeah.
So let's not have our kids look up to the stands and all that stuff. It's just one of those things that even as a coach, when I was looking at younger kids, sophomores, freshmen, and they have to look at somebody when anything happened on the court, I went scratch, because I feel like that's not theirs, and they're playing for the wrong reason. Play for yourself.
Absolutely.
Keep your eyes on your court. Keep your eyes on your opponent, the ball. Just keep your eyes on the court.
Just as another addition to that, it shows, I feel like when you play other sports, all the players that I've had that have played multiple sports, they're more mentally tough.
Absolutely.
They understand, they've been dealt with different pressures.
Yep.
So when they're out there on a tennis court, when they decide to make tennis their only thing, they are a little bit more mentally tough and able to process and problem solve on the fly, which ends up making them better players.
I love it.
Coach, you've taught some rough dudes.
Very.
Slavko Radman.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Clark, Yanni Burritos, Clay Bibbies. Paulo Carvalho's. Those are some tough guys.
Definitely.
Then you went into women's tennis and became the head coach, a successful head coach. Went to the NCAAs the first year. What was that transition like for you?
Definitely learning as well. I mean, the best way to put it is that the things you may run into as far as you may consider difficulties, I don't want to say they're the same, but they're different, and you just have to handle girls a certain way. Guys, you can handle certain ways, but there's not more problems or more difficulties with guys or more difficulties with girls. That's not really the case, and I think that's kind of like the perception out there, but that's definitely not it. They're just different, so you have to make sure that you're able to communicate and talk to the girls that I have differently than I did with the guys, but you still are able to develop them and make them better players. You just have to go about it just a slightly different way. That's all. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, we want to thank Mark for coming out. It's such a great honor.
I got one more question.
You got one more?
Coach Mark Beckham and I, we had offices right beside each other. We've spent thousands of hours over the course of 3 decades together talking. One of our top subjects was UofL men's basketball. Give us a word, Coach. What do you think about the team? How do you think they're going to do the rest of the way? You got a couple more games here. You got the ACC tournament, obviously, March Madness. Give us some thoughts about UofL basketball, because we've analyzed every game for the last 29 years together. So
definitely, I do feel like I could be a basketball coach. The biggest thing with this team is I think they're talented enough to cut down the nets. But I think they have to be a little bit more mentally tough. They have to be self-aware. Each individual on that team has to understand, tonight may not be my night, but I can still impact the game. And I feel like if they truly embrace everybody having success, I think that team can be very dangerous. But they have to be a little bit more mentally tough. And I think this little skid that they had here recently, I think that's kind of helped them through it. And I think Coach Mack he's a bit of a tough guy as well. I think he's going to get it out of him. So hopefully there's going to be some good stuff going on this spring.
hopefully a Final Four year for UofL men's basketball.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a rematch 2013 with a different result. But anyway, we want to thank Mark for coming out, you guys. We hope you got some unbelievable knowledge. We've got two great coaches here, and Rex and I want to wish Mark good luck this season. He's got a great team. Get out there, check out the matches, you guys. Mark, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It was fun.